Gary, I think the best question to start with is how would you describe your role at Kilmarnock?
Boring. No, obviously everyone's got a role in the team. I'm probably one that you won't see me bombing into the box too much, but nah, obviously I like to play in front of the back four when we've been playing and give a bit more freedom to the attacking players going forward. But nah, it's an enjoyable role, but it's probably not one that's going to get the headlines.
The thankless tasks.
Exactly, yeah.
We're looking at the stats before we did this. You're 12th in the league for interceptions and you're averaging 11 defensive actions per game. Would you say that kind of sums up your style?
Yeah, maybe. Probably when I was a bit younger, I probably wouldn't have been as defensive growing up. Obviously, I played centre half here as well last year for a bit, but the role I'm playing right now probably is. We probably haven't had as much possession as the other teams going forward, but no, it's a key part of the game, isn't it? And a key part of my role in the team, and I'm not going to be, as I said, getting the headlines for them. Or they're not too many stats to be shouting about, but it's good to see.
I'm going to ignore the bitter tone there, perhaps, that you're not getting the goals in the headlines, perhaps. But
oh yeah, no, I keep getting stick off, Boyd. You keep saying I haven't passed forward since I've been here yet, but nah, as I said, they're part of the game that not everyone wants to do or you get the credit for, but it's a job that I've got to do for the team.
Explain your kind of role with Youssouf and Alan in the middle of the park. So there's a midfield trio, but I presume Steve gives you guys all specific instructions, you're constantly talking to each other. Is it something like Youssouf does one thing, Alan does another, and then you?
Yeah, I think we've all got different strengths, to be fair, in the team. The gaffers, I think people probably wouldn't have thought we could play together, all three of us, and it has worked out well. I think when we've played in the games together, we've all complemented each other, but I said earlier, I think the better players you play with, the easier the game is for everyone. I think Youssouf likes to drift a little bit more, and Al, in fairness to him, he can get about a bit, and sometimes he slots in kind of to the right side, a bit like Rory would do as well. No, we've all got different strengths, and in fairness, we've been doing well since we've been put in there.
And would you say you complement each other?
Yeah, definitely. I think, as I said, I think you see him with Youssouf in the Celtic game, probably getting forward a lot more. Alan as well hasn't chipped in with a goal yet, but I'm sure he's getting close. He's getting a few more shots there. He's out there practicing every day after training. I'm still waiting for him to hit the target, to be fair. But no, we definitely complement each other. We all like to get on the ball, to be fair. We probably would like to have the ball a bit more, but I can't complain because we're winning games of football.
I mean, it's interesting you mentioned there about the way the forwards play or your role, and maybe it's a little more thankless. I mean, would you say that the role you play in midfield kind of requires a really strong understanding of what's going on around the park? So, for example, maybe a striker might be more instinct in the middle of the park, or a central defender's got the whole game in front of him. But for you guys in the middle of the park, you kind of have to be watching everything all times.
Yeah, I think that's probably been one of my best friends in my career, to be honest with you, is reading the game, thinking about the game, and trying to get yourself into position before it kind of happens, or seeing something before it happens. I think it helped me last year when I moved back to centre half. I thought it felt a million times easier than playing in the middle of the pitch, and I think that's probably helped me moving back. Even if I did play there, I think the understanding of the game, and as you said, you've got the whole game in front of you when you're back there compared to in the middle. You've got someone coming from the front, the back, the side, everything's going on, everyone's shouting at you. So it is probably one of my bigger strengths, would be reading the game and the understanding of it, yeah.
Do you think that's an underrated quality in the modern game? Everyone seems to talk about how fast someone is, or how quick, or how strong, but you don't often hear players getting praised for, well, just I guess intelligence of covering the game.
Yeah, to be fair, I think the game has moved on in that aspect. But then again, you still have players like your Pirlos and your Alonsos and your Cruz, people like that, who probably still don't get the recognition that they deserve. Your Xavis and stuff like that, Busquets. I think there's a lot top players that play in them positions that they're not going to score 30, 40 goals a season. But you talk to any of their teammates, they'll probably be the first name they'll have down on the team sheet for them because the job they do. But I think that's football, isn't it? You're always going to get the headlines if you're sticking in the back of the net.
Like the easy passes, the short passes, and even just keeping possession at times.
Yeah,
can be so strong.
It can be breaking a tackle up or winning a free kick or the simple 5-yard pass, as you say. It's just as effective. But you're not gonna really stop it on Monday Night Football and talk about how he's passed the ball 50 times sideways or 50 times forward to a striker's feet and stuff like that. But no, it's probably a part of the game that isn't, and probably only certain people would probably see it. But I'm just happy the gaffer seems to like it, so I'll just keep doing what he's telling me to do.
Well, you stole my segue there. I was about to say the coach obviously seems to appreciate it, and we can't talk about what you guys are doing here without mentioning the way that Steve's came in and transformed the way the team are playing. I mean, how would you describe the changes that he's made, almost like from you as a midfielder? How's your role changed since he's come in?
A lot more controlled. I'd say controlled is the best word that you could probably use with what's gone on here. I think a bit before it was, not saying we didn't know what we were doing, but more or less people running about. Everyone can run about, but it's knowing when to run, where to run, and communication as well. He doesn't get too caught up with I think the buzzword everyone now is high press, isn't it? And you want to get the ball, everyone wants to get the ball back. You're looking at your Barcelonas, your Liverpools, your Man Cities, but he's a lot more controlled with it because it suits us, to be fair. Sitting in and maybe being in control without having the ball a lot, which we have been doing, whereas even before, I think, we've mostly played 4-4-2, and the amount of managers that told me over the year I can't play in the two in midfield, there's only been about 2 managers that have actually played me in a 4-4-2. So that's thrown that out the window anyway. But no, I'd say controlled. I think you can see it out there. There's nobody running around not knowing what they're doing or going on their own. I think even then when we do press, we're hitting teams on the counter attack, I think it's suiting us.
It's interesting you say the word control there, because I think the comparison I'd make, I'm not trying to make you blush, but I think the way Steve's got Kilmarnock playing is quite similar to Jose Mourinho had at Chelsea, and the way he's, as a coach, has played his career. And obviously Steve learned a large part of his coaching from that, and in the way that you guys seem to play quite deep sometimes, you don't seem to feel an intention to hold on to the ball like you mentioned, but more importantly it seems that it's all about eradicating mistakes first and foremost. Would you say that's a fair way to describe? I think he's not. I don't think I've ever heard the gaffer say not to play. I think there's certain games that probably it comes across like that, but I think if you look at the Hibs game probably at home and the Rangers game at home, I think it's better when we play in teams half, when we keep them in. We did in them 2 games and a lot of the other games, but I could say we probably could keep the ball a bit better, but we've been keeping clean sheets and we're scoring goals, so that's a good combination no matter how you play or what way you're playing. Possession probably, as I said, that's another thing that everyone wants to have more of, but I'd gladly take 10% possession and a 1-0 win and having 90% and not getting anything. But I think that'll come. I think you've got to remember where we were when the gaffer came in. I think any manager that came in and started thinking you're going to play expansive football and opening up and you need points and you need results and the pressure's on, wouldn't be the smartest thing to do. So he's came in and he's got us solid, as I said, and that's not the easiest thing to do in football either. As you can see with other clubs that have changed managers, it hasn't really worked out either for them, whereas the gaffers come in and, as I said, controlled but simplicity as well. I think
how he gets his point across. He's not ranting, raving or rambling. He'll be out there, he'll speak. And if you don't understand, yeah, you can ask a question, but how he does it, how he explains stuff, well, it's like anything. It's like we've all had good teachers and bad teachers. The ones that are there that are able to explain things better and get their point across are usually the better ones.
Yeah, because the style you guys are playing now is a wee bit different from what you were playing under Lee, you know, before Steve came in. I think maybe fans or we forget that, you know, when a new coach comes in with different tactics or styles, it takes some time to get used to. It's not something you can change overnight.
No, certainly not. But in fairness to the lads, as soon as the gaffer came in, I think performances straight away picked up. I know he wasn't involved for the party game, but was there. But even that game, you could just see the massive difference. Which sometimes it does give you a lift when a new voice comes in, or it was Andy and Paul that took the team that day. But even his next game straight away, the Rangers game, you could see within a week the work he'd done, especially for me because I'd been injured and I'd be watching the game certain ways, and you just knew straight away. You're just thinking, this is going to change a lot, and you want to be part of it. And you could see the shape of the team and the understanding of everyone's role in the team was simplified, and the effects of it started straight away when we got that point away at Rangers.
I mean, it seems to me that one of his key attributes seems to be the way he gets the best of individuals, like obviously yourself, Stephen, Chris up front, Jordan, Eamon as well. You know, guys who are really having standout seasons. And how does he do that? Is it the way he talks guys one on one, or is it just the ethos in the team? Or?
I don't think it's one thing in general. I think training's got a lot to do with it. I'm always a believer that you've got to train well to play well. There's only the odd person here and there that can switch it on. And Boydie as well, to be fair. He doesn't move out there in the training pitch. But there's not many players that I've played with that can be brutal Monday to Friday and be a 10 out of 10 on a Saturday. Just the standards, really. I think since he's come in, if you're not on it in training, you're not going to get into the squad, let alone the team here. I think that's a massive difference now, whereas before you'd probably roughly know the starting 11 would be the same subs, where now is you could start 1 week and you'd be thinking, hopefully am I going to be involved for the next game, because it's happened to a few people that you can be left out for a game completely and then start again the following week. So he's got ways of doing it, and he treats everyone the same, which is a big thing. It doesn't matter, as I said, if you're Chris Boyd or you're Greg Taylor or you're Jordan Jones or myself or anyone. He'll speak to everyone exactly how he'll speak to the next person, and I think respect straight away. Not saying previous managers have it, but when you've had a career, I think people probably forget about his career. The younger boys probably won't know too much about him, but you don't play at Chelsea for that long and win what he's won, let alone his coaching career. So, as I said, there's so much to learn on that side of the game from him as well, and the added bonus is he's worked for some of the top managers as well.
I mean, interestingly, when you mentioned that, I mean, how much of that comes down to, when you say training, how much of that comes down to match preparation, and specifically maybe how he gets you guys prepared for specific opponents? Because you mentioned the Hibs game, Rangers obviously did very well against Celtic. Are those performances down to, you know, him getting his tactics spot on, getting you guys doing exactly what he wants you to do? Yeah,
well, I think you can see it when you watch a game. He's not one to be jumping up and down, because work, as I said, our work's done Monday to Friday. It's not done on a Friday. Everyone's panicking, doing a bit of shape, or it's built all week. Whether it's a possession game or small-sided game or anything, it's all designed for the game that week. So you're getting little bits of information all week along it. So you're going into the game fully prepared. Even before the game, you know, people are always asking you, what do you say at half-time, what do you say before the game? Before the game, we'll say a little bit, but he's not coming in and going through a million things. Or same with Alex Dyer as well. They're not going over. They know that they've done the work, and it's up to us then.
And so the hard work speaks for itself, basically.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's just being prepared, and everyone always talks about working hard, and we're out there trying. I think with the gaffer, it's more about working smart. I think, as you can see with him, he doesn't do something for the sake of it, and training is exactly the same. It's all structured in a certain way for the build up to that game, and it's enjoyable. I think sessions are really good. Him and Alex, there's no waiting about, moping about. You know what you're doing every day. And organisation, I think that's another thing. He's organised. We're organised on the pitch, but the organising off it, going into training, as I said, knowing what we're doing. Especially as a player, I've been at many clubs where you come in and there's not a cone set out before you go out to train, whereas everything's bang down to a T, moves quickly, and I think it's rubbing off on the pitch, all that professionalism really as well.
Onto yourself rather than just the coach himself. You've obviously signed a new deal till 2020, and I think you've got intentions of going into coaching afterwards. Could you just speak briefly about, why, not in a bad way, why you'd want to go into it, but what were the reasons behind that, and perhaps inspirations as well?
I've always enjoyed that side of the game. I think I spoke about earlier about playing. Maybe I'm not the quickest, so I've always had to use my brain a little bit quicker and be a bit quicker up top than down below. And it's something I've always been interested in. I've always enjoyed football. I'm not afraid to admit it. I'd watch any game of football, to be honest, if it's on the telly. I'll go watch games up here. It doesn't really matter. And it's a road I'd like to go down. Obviously I worked under some good managers along the way, some bad ones along the way, but you pick up different things, and I'm enjoying it. I've just got a week left to complete my A licence in the summer. Then I'm going to go on to the pro licence as well. And in fairness to Paul McDonald and Andy Milne have been great with me as well. Let me help out with the 20s, and it's a really good learning curve for me, to be fair, because you look at the gaffer and thinking, how is he so relaxed? Or a lot of game like that, and I'm screaming, holding it in, yeah. So no, it's a good learning curve for me. It's obviously a different way of thinking and speaking than as a player. I think that's the main thing I've learned probably on my coaching badges. You can't speak as a player really to a player. You're speaking to a group, and how you explaining things is a lot different, I think, as a player. And hopefully you can pick the gaffer's brain and Alex's brain and Andy and Paul as much as I can. But that's just the side bit. I'm enjoying playing, but I'm also enjoying doing that.
That was my next question. How much has Steve spoke to you, or are you just trying to sit there like a sponge, trying to soak it all in?
I'm always one. Certain sessions I'll always look at, and I might jot down a session if I think that's a really good session, and I'll have it. Because you do forget certain things as you get older as well. So I've only spoke to him briefly, to be fair. I spoke to him briefly before the Motherwell game, just about getting me badges done and having it done before I'm finished playing. He was saying that's the main thing you should do, and that's my aim. And it's just picking up all the things. As I said, I haven't sat down and annoyed him yet and asked him a million questions. I'll wait until we're a little bit more near the end of the season or away in pre-season. But as I said, he's worked under endless managers. He's worked with top players, played with top players as well. So I'll definitely be picking his brain. Don't worry about that.
Just before I let you go, I mean, just on that coaching side of it, you touched on it briefly there yourself, but how much of it do you think comes down to the way you played as your career, the position you've had, the way you play? I mean, do you think as a midfielder who's had to think a lot about games, it's easier to go into coaching rather than perhaps a striker or someone else who's more instinctual?
Not really, to be fair. I think it's all about your own personality and inside. I don't think it's too much about your position or what you've done before. I think it's having an idea of what you want to do, and how you want to play. And in fairness, since the gaffer's come in, he's probably changed my mind a little bit on certain things about playing and setting up, and probably not having the ball as much as we have, and formations as well. I know people probably look at us and probably think we play a bit like 4-3-3, but 9 times out of 10 it's 4-4-2. If you look at it certain ways, he'll tweak certain things during games and he'll shift people about a bit more, but it's a 4-4-2 really. And that's probably a dying breed these days. I know Leicester won the league with it, but there's not many teams that play it anymore. And he tweaks it certain ways that I probably hadn't thought about as much myself, and the way that he got his point across and the way he's getting the lads to do it, because even you look at Big Boyd, he's putting shifts in now every Saturday, Tuesday. He's probably ran more in the last 5 months than he has in the last 5 years. So no, there is certain things that I take, and I've probably learnt a lot with the coaching side of it, and the things he's done and the way he set us up. That'll probably stay with me for a long time.